Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday encounter in a typical life of an Aspie. I am going to bring you about now the topic basically called delayed emotional processing, pretty much, and how it works and how it affects us Aspies in our everyday lives, no matter what it is. So it goes like this. There are many people out there that tends to underestimate us or misread us or even misunderstand us, or even to the point of misinterpretations. Delays is due to the way we speak, act, and also how we think, due to our processes, even though, as I mentioned before, that us Aspies mindsets are different, and that how we go about our day and age is that, you know, we wire differently. And as I said, I'm hoping to bring about the next topic over somewhere about the autistic brain, how we function and all this as well. How we process from what's said in the environment, as well as to the people who has been in our social circle. As I said, sometimes it will take longer for some of us to process some of those thought patterns. Some of us will need that time factor, basically, just to be out and about and actually reflect, rewind to what was said and done, despite that many people basically think that we're going the wrong way about it. How we deal with it, however, as I said, may be different, yet with a bit of understanding and knowledge will go a long way for each and one of us, despite us being Aspies, besides the neurotypicals. We may respond in a delayed fashion, however, or maybe in an inconsistent manner. Delayed emotional processing is how the information that we take on board, that we process due to what maybe we have read or what's been said from a particular someone, pretty much, is different from the NTs, and the connections will be slower or faster depending on the info that was given to us at that time. This will go the same way to how we feel, however, despite what that information is given. Sometimes some of us Aspies basically take longer to digest the information, and as I said before, that some of us, like me especially, I pretty much character build on different scenarios and different things, even though many people may think this is going the wrong way about it, but that's how I go about it. Also, another thing to bear in mind is with this delayed emotional processing, sometimes I tend to reenact myself, pretty much making sure that I'm maybe in a comfort zone or in a setting that will take place basically in that particular situation that has been said and done, and maybe like a film script, then I have to rehearse it time and time again, to the point that sometimes it may get tiring, but then again sometimes I have to do this to reassure myself that hopefully in due time in the future, as well as in the present, that I'll hopefully gain that better understanding of the people that are around me. Sometimes, however, as I said, this will go into our emotional state of mind, basically, and our well-being. When we are in a stressful situation, however, of a particular time frame, be it, like, for example, if I was working in an office and basically all the hubbub of so many noises going on, you know, be it like people talking in the background and phones going off, and basically I'm supposed to be self-absorbing into the paperwork that I'm doing that's given to me at hand, even though, yes, sometimes I might get off to the point of sidetracking myself, and that no matter what, that sometimes with that sidetrack it can lead to consequences, I guess. Sometimes, however, in a stressful situation or environment, however, our brain tends to get, as I said, to that sensory overload stage, and it gets so overwhelming that sometimes many of us either A, will isolate ourselves from that problem, or B, we'll pretty much just shut down automatically, which usually is the last stage of those meltdown stages and phases, as I mentioned in the series if you've been following them. Basically, you know, that's how I work. Sometimes when it gets too overwhelming, I'll shut down, and many people may think that I'm hard to talk to when this happens. But if you just give me time to process what was going on in the first place, like sometimes to help me with all this, is basically have 10 minutes of my day, if not that, maybe a bit shorter, maybe 5. Some people may think, it's going to take long for her to process whatever needs to be done. But then again, I feel that it needs to be done so that, you know, I can get on with my day. Sometimes, however, despite the brain being sensitive to all these sensory inputs, sensory information overload, basically, that leads to that overwhelming factor for us, basically, it can be an emotional situation to the point of basically that can fill up with stress. And also, as I said, with all this meltdown stages, some of it may frustrate us, wants to scream and shout and rip our hair out. Some of us just wants to just stamp our feet and just, you know, go our merry way, this sort of thing. But then again, everyone's different. Sometimes when we're at the emotional state, however, due to our sensory inputs and sensory information overload, basically, as I said, this will lead to a shutdown phase. Basically, we don't know what's happening sometimes when that shutdown stage happens. That's why, as I said, some of us needs to just reflect, rewind and relax, and hopefully just maybe think of other alternatives that will work for us as well as people around us, hopefully, and hopefully many people will just tend to understand us better. Sometimes, however, though, when we go into that shutdown phase, imagine a computer going sensory overdrive, you know, like you've got the lights flashing on and off on your computer, basically, and then your computer's obviously doing some silly thing in the background, be it like an error message coming up, and then you get a black or blue screen, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, what the hell is going on, basically, and then sometimes it will automatically turn off. That's how sometimes us Aspies works, however, in this shutdown phase, I feel. Sometimes though, in that shutdown phase, some of us just want to hide away from everybody and just basically try not to show our emotions. Sometimes, as I said, many of us Aspies tend to be the point of no return, be acceptable of others to what they're saying and doing to us regardless. Despite that, sometimes we take on too much to the point of that it may end up breaking us, like any one of us. Sometimes though, with that sense of overwhelming state factor, as well as basically with our sensory input versus our, you know, sensory information that we take on board, sometimes we don't know where it is or where it's coming from. So pretty much what happens is we're in a world where we detach ourselves from a situation. Sometimes we attach or detach depending on our responses of our sensory input and outputs when we gather the information. Basically, sometimes it depends on, you know, if we want to take it on board based on our choices, like anyone. And then sometimes some of us Aspies, pretty much, if we do take it on board, sometimes we never know about the consequences until later on, basically. But then again, I guess that's up to us, however. Most of the time when this happens, we feel like it's okay to feel this way. There's no responsible trigger for this. Sometimes, like I said, in the, you know, blaming, internalizing guilt and blame, sometimes we feel that we're at fault of something that may have been said or done towards us, despite that, you know, if, here's an example, a boss was yelling at me at work, be it in a reception zone, and that no matter what, that basically we need to just pick up where we started and just realise that, no, this is the boss's fault, he's having a hard day, there must be something going on in his circle, so then we need to just address that matter quick, smart, however. Sometimes not knowing where it's coming from nor knowing what it means, so part of us feel okay and safe even though the overwhelming feeling is making us so stressful that leads to exhaustion, pretty much. There's a time factor when our stress levels will and may go down. Everything is a time factor. Over time, as we know, basically when it comes down to stressful matters, that we need to be aware of what's going on. You got to remember though, however, do not rush the Aspies to the point where you think they'll become ready to talk to you and basically go about their day. We need to sit down, rewind and reflect on whatever it is and analyse the situation that we're facing that is overwhelming us, etc. Even if it means that we go pick little by little, black and white and whatever it may be. We need to be aware that, you know, us Aspies sometimes, we're all about the black and white. Sometimes we may see it beyond the point of black and white and actually pick out every other bits that needs to be done. But hey, as we know though, however, that when we are stressed, we don't function really well. None of us do. As we lose the concentration and feel that we're under control for everyday situations that we may face them more. Despite that, sometimes many of us Aspies, when we're, you know, in a controlled environment or an environment that we feel that we're controlling ourselves and of the situation, then, you know, sometimes we don't realise some things don't go our way and then it just falls to mush, you know. Well, that ends basically the delayed emotional response basically on my channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on AspieAnswersAll on Twitter and Facebook basically for more updates of what's going on of these videos, even though some of them, as I said, will be in the book. This is not in the book. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.